So what are the important terms? You see here, there is hire vendor, there is hire purchaser, there is cash price, there is hire purchase price, there is down payment or it is also known as deposit, there is hire or hire charge, then there is installment, okay, then there is hire purchase agreement. Okay, so these are some of the basic terms, okay, which you have to know. Now you have studied in my last class, okay, my last video you can check out. There I have given, okay, what is hire purchase system. Okay, so what is that hire purchase system? Hire purchase system is a system of purchase, okay, where the payment is to be made, okay, in installments. It can be yearly, it can be half yearly, it can be quarterly, or it can be monthly payment of installment. Okay, and each installment includes what? Each installment includes interest plus principal amount. Okay, principal amount means a portion of the cost of goods. Got it? And the possession of the goods, the purchaser, okay, who can also be called as hire buyer, okay, or hirer, okay, or hire purchaser, okay, can obtain immediately. Okay, possession of goods can be obtained by the hire purchaser immediately. Okay, but the ownership will be passed from the owner to the buyer after the payment of the last installment, whatever is the number of installments. Okay, so that is said in hire purchase system. Okay, now these are some of the few basic terms in hire purchase system, and you have to know that, okay, to carry out your journey of learning hire purchase system, okay, in financial accounting paper. So you see here, the first one is what is hire vendor. Hire vendor means the seller of goods in hire purchase system. Okay, so here you see person who sells goods under HP means hire purchase. Okay, under hire purchase system. Then you see, what do you mean by hire purchaser? Person who has obtained possession of goods from owner under hire purchase system. Hire purchaser is also known as hirer or hire buyer. Hirer or hire buyer. Okay, so that person, okay, who has obtained the possession of goods, okay, from owner, okay, under hire purchase system is known as hire purchaser. He can also be termed as hirer. Okay, so possession of goods is obtained from owner. Okay, that person is termed as hire purchaser. Then you see, what is cash price? Price to be paid on purchase of goods in cash. Okay, so the price, okay, the price to be paid, cash price means, okay, on hire purchase, okay, whatever cash price is paid, that is cash price. Okay, it does not include any interest or hire charges. So it does not include any interest. Okay, the cash price of the good is paid. Okay, that is the cash price. It will not include any interest or any other higher charges. Okay, it is the cash price of the good. Sorry, it is the cash price of the good. Okay, it will not include any interest or any other higher charges. Will you remember? Now come to hire purchase price. Total amount to be paid under hire purchase transaction. It includes down payment, okay, down payment plus all the installments including interest. Okay, so hire purchase price means what? It is the bigger concept. Okay, it is the bigger concept. okay, in hire purchase transactions. Okay, it will include what? Down payment. The payment, okay, with down payment means what? The payment which is made immediately, okay, by the hire buyer to the hire vendor, okay, on purchase of goods under hire purchase system. Okay, so that is down payment. It's a lump sum amount, a small amount of the cash price of the goods. Okay, so that is, okay, it includes, it will include hire purchase price, will include down payment plus all the installments including interest. Okay, down payment plus all the installments, okay, amount of all the installments which will include interest also. Okay, because each installment includes interest. Got it? So that is said in hire purchase price. Cash price means simply you just remember cash price of the goods. Okay, it will not include any interest. And hire purchase price means it will include down payment plus all the installments including interest, which will include interest. Then you see number 5, down payment or deposit. Okay, as I have said now, okay, it is the amount of initial payment made at the time of signing the agreement and taking possession of the goods. So when the hire purchaser signs the agreement, okay, under hire purchase system, and taking, okay, and he will take the possession of the goods. At that time, an initial payment is made, which is known as down payment. Okay, initial payment is made, which is known as down payment. Okay, at this time of signing the agreement under hire purchase system and taking possession of the goods. Okay, taking possession of the goods. Possession of the goods means what? Hire purchaser will take the good with him, along with him. Okay, so that is down payment. It is the amount of initial payment. Then you see what is hire or hire charge. It is the amount of each installment. So what is hire charge? It is the amount of each installment. Okay, hire charge means it is the amount of each installment. It will include a portion of the cost price of goods, okay, and an amount of interest. Okay, so hire or hire charges means amount of each installment. Okay, and each installment will include cost of the goods plus interest. Okay, a portion of the cost of the goods, portion of the cost of the goods plus interest. Okay, so that is, okay, that includes, okay, amount of each installment. Got it? Then you see what is an installment. It is payable at periodical intervals. It includes both principal and interest. So what is an installment? It is paid at periodical intervals. Okay, it may be yearly, it may be half yearly, it may be quarterly, or it may be monthly. Okay, and it includes what? Principal and interest. Okay, principal means a portion of the cost price of the good, and interest, each installment. Okay, each installment will include a portion of the cost price of the goods and interest. So it is payable at periodical intervals. Okay, so that is an installment. Then 8th point, you see what do you mean by hire purchase agreement. So what is hire purchase agreement? Hire purchase agreement means it is an agreement, okay, which is prepared under hire purchase system. Okay, it is an agreement between the hire buyer and the hire vendor, okay, under hire purchase system. Okay, So you see, an agreement between the hire vendor and hire purchaser under the hire purchase system. To what? To acquire possession of goods and payment of periodical installments. Okay, it is an agreement which will contain what? Which will contain possession of goods. Okay, to acquire possession of goods. Possession of goods will be with the hire buyer after signing the agreement. Then payment of periodical installments. Okay, there will be payment of periodical installments. Then you see, ownership gets transferred on payment of last installment. Okay, there will be mentioned in the agreement that the ownership of the goods will be transferred from the hire vendor, okay, to the buyer, to the hire buyer, okay, on the payment of last installment. Okay, on the payment of last installment. There can be termination of the agreement before the property so passes. Okay, so as the buyer continues with payment of installments, okay, until and unless the last installment is paid, okay, there is a ownership, okay, the ownership lies with the hire vendor, and the hire vendor can terminate the agreement, okay, at any time before the ownership of goods gets transferred. Okay, the ownership of goods gets transferred from the hire vendor to the hire buyer. Okay, so these are the three conditions which is mentioned in the hire purchase agreement. Okay, it is an agreement between the hire vendor and hire purchaser under the hire purchase system. Okay, you remember these 3 points: to acquire possession of goods and payment of periodical installments. Okay, ownership gets transferred on payment of last installment. After the payment of the last installment, the ownership will get transferred from the vendor to the purchaser. There can be termination of the agreement before the property so passes. Okay, so before the property passes, okay, from the this one, before the payment of the last installment, okay, as the hire purchaser is paying the installments, okay, the hire vendor can terminate the agreement, okay, can end up with the agreement, okay, because the ownership lies with the hire vendor, okay, until and unless the last installment is paid by the hire buyer. Okay, so in between the hire vendor can terminate the or end up the agreement. Okay, he has that right. Okay, so you have understood what is hire vendor, what is hire purchaser, cash price, okay, the price of the goods, okay, cash price of the goods. You just remember that it will not include any interest or any other hire charges. Hire purchase price, it is down payment plus all the installments including interest. Down payment, it is an initial payment made at the signing of agreement, okay, and taking possession of the goods. Hire or hire charge, it is the amount of each installment, a portion of the cost price of the goods plus interest. Then installment, it is payable at periodical intervals. Okay, it includes both principal and interest. And you have come to learn about hire purchase agreement. It is an agreement between the hire vendor and hire purchaser. Okay, to Act 2, you just write down these 3 points. Okay, so I hope you have understood what do you mean by this one, hire purchase system. Sorry, what do you mean by hire purchase system and some of the related terms, okay, under hire purchase system. Okay, so if you like my video, okay, I hope these points are clear to you. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, okay, for further videos. Thank you.